Hi, my name's Simon Dixon. I'm author of the book From Student to CEO, 97 Ways to Influence Your Way to the Top in Banking and Finance. In that book I explain and outline the fundamental principles that I used in order to go from T-boy to stockbroker to trader to corporate financier and eventually go on to own a private equity company and multiple success businesses in banking and finance. Now I'm in the midst of a university roadshow at the moment and I present to around about 5,000 odd students a month, and I tend to get very similar questions. Also, at the moment I'm in the midst of a series of interviews I'm conducting with hugely successful achievers in banking and finance, and I'm stood outside Deutsche Bank right now, and just before I go in I wanted to actually answer some of those fundamental questions, so also keep an eye out for those interviews. There's some real great lessons of what you can do to secure your career. But one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is, I want to work for one of these top banks like Deutsche Bank or other bulge bracket investment banks, and I didn't get a 2-1 or above at university. What can I do? Well, the thing to remember is that yes, the large companies, they all have very strict requirements on your academic achievements to date in whatever degree or masters or whatever it is you may have studied. However, there are always ways, and if your goal and ambition is to work at one of these large investment banks, then you may need to take a different route or a back door, but if you're determined and focused enough, there is always a way. First thing I always advise people is you've got to figure out what type of career you want to get into. So although they have a lot of graduate schemes, you've got to pick which one might really suit your personality. I don't really want to go too much in depth to that. I'd like to tell you about alternative route. Well, if you didn't get the 2-1, please don't let that be the end of the world for you. They may say that you have to have a 2-1, but I know plenty of people that work within these banks and financial institutions that don't have 2-1s. In fact, I worked on the trading floor where I was actually one of the only 3 people on that trading floor who actually had a degree. Although there's about 50 odd larger investment banks that have graduate schemes, there's still plenty of opportunities for students and graduates working in one of the other 1,800 different financial institutions, and they're dotted around the city, absolutely everywhere, and all around the UK in fact. And it's a great way to start. A way that I actually started was by working for one of the medium-sized financial institutions. Now once you work for a medium-sized financial institutions, you build your contacts, you build your networks, and you also actually start to liaise with people from the larger banks and financial institutions, and you'll be dealing with them on a day-to-day basis. Once you get to the level where you've got, I'd say, a minimum of 1 year, normally 2 years professional experience, it depends on how you go around it, then you're not even applying for graduate schemes anymore. You are then applying for experienced professional roles. Moral of the story is, figure out what you want. If you want to work in one of these and you didn't get the top grades, then you can put together an alternative route depending on what area you want to get into, get a bit of experience at perhaps a boutique or medium-sized financial institution, then apply for professional roles. But if you've made the decision that you want to work here at one of these large investment banks or financial institutions, then a decision means that you cut off any other possibility. Once you cut off any other possibility, you just need to ask yourself better questions. Perhaps if you ask the question, how many people work in these organizations that didn't get a 2-1 or above at university? And you'll find that there's loads of them. Ask them what they do, copy them, find them, seek them out, and you'll see that there are alternative routes. Hi, I hope you've enjoyed the videos. If you've implemented what I've taught you so far, then you're on your way to securing your ideal career in banking and finance. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to put this all together for you right now. Because my company works with all the investment banks and the financial institutions and some of the biggest companies across the world, and we're sponsored by them, we're actually in a position whereby we can actually pay and subsidize a complete banking and finance professional mentoring program for you. What I'd like you to do right now is, if you just check out the link that's displaying on this video right now, go to that link and we'll show you exactly how to get that program, £989 worth of training, coaching and consulting for your career in banking and finance, completely paid and subsidised for you.